All right, welcome to the deep dive. So today we're diving into Unleashing the Ideavirus by Seth Godin.
Interesting choice. Should be a good one.
You sent this one in, right?
Mhm.
So hopefully we can extract some serious insights from this and, about how ideas actually take off in the marketplace.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating look at how ideas spread. Like what makes some catch on and just explode while others just kind of fizzle out.
Yeah, exactly. And Godin lays out some pretty big questions right from the start.
Oh yeah, like what?
Well, like, how does successful marketing even relate to this whole idea of an idea virus? And why do some ideas spread like wildfire while others just, go nowhere?
Makes you think, right? Especially in today's world.
For sure. And then he asks, like, has the internet completely changed marketing? And maybe the most practical question of all, how can businesses, no matter how big or small, actually use idea virus marketing?
Those are some pretty crucial questions. And what's amazing is how relevant Godin's ideas still are, even though he wrote this a while back.
Right. So no matter what you're doing, whether you're trying to understand a trend or maybe prepping for like a strategy meeting, this deep dive should give you some good stuff to think about. And we'll keep it straightforward, no jargon.
Definitely. We'll try to make it useful for everyone.
So, okay, let's start with something really basic.
Yeah.
Why are ideas so central to what Godin's talking about here?
Well, he argues that the economy is not just about making things anymore. It's really about the creation and the spread of ideas.
Right. So, like, instead of factories churning out widgets, it's more about information and innovation.
Exactly. And he drops this kind of crazy stat. $220 billion spent on advertising every year.
Whoa.
It really makes you wonder if traditional advertising is actually the best way to go, or if maybe there's a better way, like using this whole idea virus thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wow.
So let's get to the heart of it. What exactly is an idea virus?
So the way Godin defines it, it's like a powerful idea, right?
Yeah.
And it spreads super fast through a specific group of people.
Okay, but that sounds kind of like regular word of mouth, right?
Well, yeah, but it's different. Like, think about it. Regular word of mouth, it's slow, it kind of fades out. An idea virus, though, especially with the internet, it can just explode.
Like going viral, right?
Exactly. It spreads like crazy. And it doesn't just create a little buzz, it actually changes the way people think and act.
Okay, so who's responsible for spreading these idea viruses?
Ah, good question. Godin talks about nerds, but not in a bad way. He means early adopters. They're always looking for the newest thing.
Oh, I see. The people that have to have the latest gadget or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And he says there are way more of these early adopters now than ever before. And actually, if you're listening to this, you're probably one of them.
Really? I guess that makes sense. We are kind of nerdy, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing. Our society puts a lot of value on being in the know. It's cool to know about the next big thing.
I see what you mean. And I guess that means people are getting pretty good at ignoring traditional advertising.
Oh, yeah. We're bombarded with ads all the time. It's overwhelming.
So Godin's saying we need to create environments where customers market to each other.
Exactly. People trust their friends and peers more than some random ad.
So you're saying that, like, marketing is all there is now?
Well, that's what Godin suggests. Because in today's world, it's all about getting your ideas out there.
Okay, so how do we actually make this happen? How do you unleash an idea virus?
Now we're getting to the good stuff. Godin talks about these people he calls sneezers, people who love to share information.
Okay, like influencers.
Kinda, but he breaks it down further. There are powerful sneezers and promiscuous sneezers.
I'm intrigued. What's the difference?
So powerful sneezers, they're the people everyone trusts. When they recommend something, people actually listen. Think thought leaders or experts in a field.
Okay, I get it. And promiscuous sneezers.
They're more motivated by personal gain, like they might be part of an affiliate program or something.
Ah, I see. So it's about more than just getting anyone to talk about your idea.
Exactly. You need the right people to be talking about it.
So how do you find these sneezers?
Well, they often hang out in what Godin calls hives. These are groups of people with shared interests. It could be anything, like a professional organization, a fan club, even just a group of friends.
Okay, so you're saying an idea virus needs to find the right hive to really take off.
Exactly. If you can get your idea to resonate within a specific hive, it has a much better chance of spreading.
So how do you actually get these sneezers, both powerful and promiscuous, to share your idea?
Well, for promiscuous sneezers, it's often about incentives. Like Godin talks about affiliate programs, showcasing success stories, even tangible rewards like Mary Kay's pink Cadillac.
That's pretty clever. Make it worth their while to spread the word.
Exactly, but it's also important to be transparent and consistent. You can't just change the rules on them halfway through.
Right, that makes sense. And what about the powerful sneezers? How do you get them on board?
It's a bit different. They're not as motivated by money. They care more about their reputation and sharing valuable information. So the key is to make it really easy for them to adopt and share your idea.
Okay, like having that send to a friend button on a website.
Yeah, exactly. Make it seamless for them.
And this is where the internet really comes into play, right? It
Yeah.
amplifies everything.
Absolutely. What might have been a conversation between two friends can now reach thousands, even millions, online.
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Definitely. So Godin tries to put all of this together into something he calls the Ideavirus formula.
Okay, the formula. Sounds complicated.
It is a bit complex, but it basically breaks down all the factors that contribute to an idea spreading.
Like what?
Well, like the reputation of the sneezers, the benefits for the different types of sneezers, how often people in the hive interact, how easy it is to try the idea, how many people each sneezer talks to, how long the idea lasts, and how much it penetrates the target hive.
Wow, that's a lot to consider.
It is, but it really helps you understand how to make your idea go viral.
So is there a, step-by-step guide or something?
Sort of. Godin outlines what he calls the 8 variables you can tweak in building your virus.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, so the first one is hive. He says choosing the right target audience is super important. Sometimes it's better to start small, dominate a niche, and then expand.
Like Coors beer only being sold in Colorado at first.
Exactly. They built up a strong reputation in that one hive before going national.
Clever.
Okay, what's next?
Next is velocity, how fast the idea spreads. And obviously the internet plays a huge role here. It makes things move much faster.
Makes sense. What else?
Then there's vector, which is basically the path the idea takes. Godin says any obstacles, like needing special software or something, can really limit the reach of an idea.
Ah, so it needs to be easy to access and share. Exactly. Then there's medium, which is the format of the idea. It could be an article, a product, an email, whatever. Some mediums are just more captivating than others. Like Godin talks about Vindigo on the Palm Pilot. It was just so useful and easy to use.
Okay, and what's next?
Smoothness. This is about how easy it is for the idea to spread and be adopted. Godin says it needs to be a frictionless process.
Like Amazon's member get a member program.
Exactly. They make it super easy for people to share and get rewards. Then there's persistence, how long the virus lasts. Some ideas are just fads, they come and go quickly. Others stick around for much longer.
Like the whole fidget spinner craze. That was short-lived.
Totally. Then we have amplifier, which are things that help spread the idea even further. Godin talks about planet feedback, which lets people share their feedback about companies online. That can really amplify both good and bad experiences.
Makes sense. So we've got the hive, the speed, the path, the format, the ease of sharing, the lifespan, and the amplifiers. What's the 8th variable?
Ah, right. Godin doesn't explicitly list an 8th one, but he stresses a few other key points, like launching at the right size, making sure the initial experience is smooth, and having things like testimonials and tell-a-friend tools to help overcome skepticism and encourage sharing.
Okay, that makes sense. So he's basically saying you need to create an environment where the idea can thrive.
Exactly. You can't just throw an idea out there and expect it to go viral on its own. You need to nurture it and make it easy for people to share.
So he talks about some specific examples of ideaviruses, right?
Oh, yeah. He has a whole bunch of case studies and what he calls riffs on different ideas. Like Vindigo, the Palm app we talked about earlier. It was super smooth and persistent.
And it really took off, right?
It did, at least for a while.
Yeah.
Then he talks about the Prius. It's a great car, but it was a challenge to make it go viral because the benefits are mostly social, not personal.
Right, like saving the environment versus saving money on gas.
Exactly. He even talks about his own book, Unleashing the Ideavirus. He tried to make it an Ideavirus itself by releasing it online for free.
Meta. Did it work?
It's hard to say for sure. It definitely got people talking, but it wasn't like a massive overnight success.
I guess even with the best strategies, there are no guarantees.
Totally. He also talks about frequent flyer miles and how they could be turned into an Ideavirus. Like, imagine a convention for frequent flyers where they could trade tips and stories.
That's actually a pretty cool idea.
Right. And then he gets into the fashion industry, which is all about trends and ideas spreading quickly.
Fashion's like the ultimate idea virus, right? What's hot one day is out the next.
Exactly. He also talks about this money paradox. The idea is the sooner you try to make money from an idea, the less money you'll actually make in the long run.
Hmm, that's counterintuitive.
It is, but it makes sense. He says you need to build a strong user base and a loyal following before you start charging people.
Like give away something valuable for free to get people hooked.
Exactly. And he uses eFax as an example. They gave away free fax numbers and then eventually started charging for premium features.
Right. And he also talks about the music industry, right?
Yeah, he says they messed up by trying to fight digital music sharing instead of embracing it.
Like they should have figured out a way to make money from Napster or something.
Exactly. He also gives a bunch of other examples of ideaviruses like Polaroid, Tupperware, fax machines, Hotmail, Tommy Hilfiger, even open source software.
It's amazing how many different things can be idea viruses.
It really is. And he talks about how bestseller lists are basically a form of social proof. People are more likely to buy something if it looks popular.
Oh, for sure. Like, I'm definitely more likely to watch a movie if it's #1 on Netflix.
Exactly. He even talks about how parodies can be idea viruses. They spread through shared cultural references.
Like that scary movie franchise.
Yeah, exactly. And he says the name and the look of an idea are really important too. Like, Yahoo is a much more memorable name than Lycos.
Oh, totally. I don't even remember what Lycos was.
Right. And then there's this idea of being the most, like, creating the world's hottest hot sauce or something. It's about standing out and getting people talking.
Makes sense. What else?
Well, he talks about the importance of dominating a small niche first, like that band you like that built up a huge following in your hometown before going national.
Yeah, I get it. Start small, build a loyal following, and then expand.
Exactly. He also analyzes AOL's early success. They targeted newer internet users and leveraged their own experience as former newbies to build trust.
Clever. They spoke the language of their target audience.
Exactly. And he circles back to the money paradox again, saying that you should find those powerful sneezers and give them free samples of your idea.
So, like, give the influencers early access to get them talking.
Exactly. He even says the stock market can be seen as an idea virus. Positive buzz can drive up stock prices.
Never thought about it that way.
Yeah, it's interesting. And he mentions those old school bumper stickers as an early form of idea virus marketing. It's a simple message that spreads through a physical network.
Like those honk if you love Jesus stickers.
Exactly. So simple, yet effective.
Makes you think. What else does he talk about?
Well, he emphasizes the power of free. Like giving away free web server software or free web browsers can really accelerate adoption.
Right, because there's no barrier to entry.
Exactly. And he talks about how businesses can actually make money in an idea virus world. It's not just about giving everything away for free.
So there are ways to monetize an idea virus.
Definitely. He uses Mighty Words as an example. They're trying to create a new model for selling shorter works online.
Interesting. And he also cautions against focusing too much on early adopters.
Yeah, he says you need to find a way to cross the chasm and reach a wider audience.
Like, Woody Allen movies appeal to a niche audience, but they're not exactly blockbusters.
Right. And he debunks this idea of a tipping point. He says there's no magic moment where an idea suddenly explodes. It's about consistent effort and building a strong foundation.
Okay, so no shortcuts.
Not really. He also talks about the compounding effect of multiple sneezers recommending an idea. It creates a snowball effect.
Makes sense. The more people are talking about it, the more likely others are to check it out.
Exactly. And he analyzes some ideas that didn't become idea viruses, like this software called Infish. It lacked smoothness, a natural monopoly, and built-in incentives for users to spread it.
So it's important to learn from failures, too.
Absolutely. He also uses the Atkins diet as an example of a successful idea virus. It was easy to follow, and the results were visible and shareable.
People love to show off their weight loss, right?
Totally. And he warns against this get big fast mentality. He says it's better to build slowly and steadily, focusing on quality over quantity.
Like the tortoise and the hare, right? Slow and steady wins the race.
Exactly. He points to communication tools like email and instant messaging as examples of naturally viral things. Their value increases as more people use them.
It's the network effect, right?
Yep. And he contrasts that with traditional advertising, which he compares to a broken machine.
So he's saying advertising is a waste of money.
Not necessarily, but he suggests that it's often less effective than a well-executed idea virus strategy.
Okay, so what's the key to making idea virus marketing work?
Well, he talks about the importance of permission. You need to build a relationship with your audience and get their consent to market to them.
Like, don't just spam people with your message.
Exactly. And he even analyzes the Microsoft as evil Ideavirus, showing how a negative idea can spread just as quickly as a positive one.
Interesting. So it's a double-edged sword.
It definitely is. And he examines why a company called Digimarc likely failed. They didn't have a clear user benefit or a strong focus on any particular hive.
So it's important to know your audience and what they want.
Absolutely. And he uses the cow parade as an example of successful guerrilla marketing. Those painted cows really got people talking.
I remember those. They were everywhere.
Exactly. And he even talks about the Harvey Wallbanger drink as an example of a marketer intentionally creating an idea virus.
Wow, so it can be done deliberately.
It seems so.
Nah.
And finally, he mentions this concept of sensitization. Sometimes an early idea, even if it's not totally successful, can pave the way for a better one later on.
Like a sort of trial run for the real thing?
Yeah, something like that.
So Godin's basic message is that in today's world, spreading ideas is more important than ever.
Exactly. And it's often more effective and cost-efficient than traditional advertising.
And he reminds us that we're all potential sneezers.
Absolutely. So as you go about your day, think about the ideas you encounter and how you might spread them.
Here's a question for you to ponder. Who are the powerful sneezers in your own life? And what kind of idea could you unleash that would resonate with them?
It's something to think about. These ideas, even though they're not brand new, are still incredibly relevant today.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.
See ya.